Welcome back to SLADE. And there we have a cripple. Because I'm a sensitive person. Here is my beautiful Austrains 442. Now these are the 3 wagon cards for my ice chilled vans from SDS Models. We have an MRC, and that's from their Pack J. We have an NOI from Pack A and a TRC from Pack 10. It's not meant to say Pack 0, it's meant to say Pack 10. And that's from On Track Models. Here's 2 more wagon cards, the BPV and the MBC. These are from that same Pack J from SDS Models, which is a set of MRCs. In this case, these vans were modified from MRCs. And my final 2 wagon cards, an MLV by AR Kits, and that wasn't a kit, it was ready to run. This is a temporary card for my VLX. The MLV is 40 feet, the VLX is actually 40 feet 2 inches. So, with a fresh skewer for uncoupling, wagon cards shuffled, let's have a look at our first wagon card. It is the TRC. So, it is way up yonder. Yes, I'm in my pajamas again. And you may recall from episode 1, this layout is 1520 long. In miles per hour, that is 4 feet 11 and 13/16. So we'll move the MRC out of the way because at the earliest opportunity we need our target van to be the second van from the engine. There's nothing to think about, there's no decisions to be made. It's just about the enjoyment of spending the time shunting without having to do any thinking. I have seen some beautiful shunting layouts and people use the Inglenook system, which involves a small amount of thinking. I've seen a large end-to-end layout which requires multiple operators, and the wagon card and the consist system they have, they do more thinking doing a modelling session than I do at work. No, I'm not in love. I'm not in love with the idea of having to think. But the card, particularly when they're running a timetable and forming precise consists that have a destination, and it takes 3 days to go through an entire cycle of their card system, or three operating sessions. That's pretty hardcore, and it's not for me. Call me a simpleton, but it's not meant to require any thinking. I just love the pleasure of just doing the shunting and watching it happen and having a purpose to it. Having an order of cards that are telling me what needs to be shifted and where. So at the moment, yes, the TRC needs to be put into the shed for loading or unloading. So the idea behind making a target van the second van from the engine at the earliest opportunity is then you're using the engine and the two vans they're attached to empty out the shed siding. And then once you've emptied out the shed siding, you will have then filled your yard to its capacity, and then there's nothing more to do other than to shunt your target van into the shed. And with one small exception, which I might even demonstrate for you, at the end of a shunt into the shed, you will always have two wagons in the shed siding with the engine, and you'll always have 5 engines left, your 5 wagons left in the yard. There is one exception, and I'll force that to happen for you. So also too, it makes it easier for a person as simple as me to narrate or attempt thereto a video while I'm running a session, because I'm not having to think about what I'm doing on the layout. It just happens. That MLV from AR Kits, yeah, it's not going to be released in its current form because it's not considered to be up to the standard anymore. There's supposed to be thin truss rods underneath the underframe, and they look almost like RSJs. That's because they're chunky, because they're made of plastic. But you know what? It's a gorgeous bloody model. And of course, here we are with our TRC now being shunted into the shed. And this is almost always how you will finish, with 2 wagons and your engine in the shed siding and 5 of your wagons left in the yard. There is one exception, and I will force that exception right now. Let's imagine that right here, right now, I've just drawn a card, and it is the MLV right here. Well, this is the one and only time where we don't make the MLV the second van from the engine. And you've already worked out exactly what's going to happen right now. We're actually going to grab it and throw it straight in with the other 2 vans as part of the shunting manoeuvre. And this is the only occasion where you'll get 3 vans being pushed into the shed siding in one go like this. That is not how it usually happens. Anyway, so back to the deck of cards now. Let's continue. I've just drawn the MLV. Well, there you go. That just to prove See, that the next card actually was going to be the MLV. How kooky is that? Alright, here we go. Our next card is the NRY. And now, of course, we revert to normality. This skewer is beautiful. It's gripping these knuckles and undoing them first go, every go. So yes, most of these wagons have knuckles that would appear to be the correct size for Australian prototype. So SDS models, for example, they get knuckles from I don't know where. They're not KDs and they're not a KD equivalent. They are a smaller head. And on-track models, actually the on-track models, I'm not sure if they are. They might be KDs. The KDs seem to be most friendly in as much as the jaw actually opens super easily. That's important when you don't have many wagons on, and when you come up to do a coupling up, it simply nudges your other wagon away instead of coupling up. Also, I cannot use a genuine KD fiddlestick with these smaller knuckles because it becomes jammed inside them, and the first time it happens your heart will stop because you realise that you may be about to destroy your knuckle, actually break it in order to free the KD fiddlestick. But in my experience, and I've had it happen to me about 3 times, because the first time I ignored it thinking okay, hopefully that won't happen again. The second time I thought, oh, that seems to be the norm. I'll see if I can do it more carefully. No, I could not do it more carefully. So by this point I was aware that people were using bamboo skewers. So I bought a pack of bamboo skewers. But you have to find one that's just beautiful. They don't all perform the function equally. Some of the bamboo skewers are super sharp, some have a slightly blunter profile to them. I think it's the blunter ones that do the better job. Anyhow, that's my babble about knuckles and fiddlesticks. So what do you know, there's our MLV again, back where it were. Yeah, so in future videos I will be explaining the electrics, and I'll be showing the wiring